I don't know if you guys watched it, but last night on the Mavericks game, it was all women. All women did the play-by-play, the analysis, and halftime, and it was fabulous. I mean, they came in. I mean, let's say, got Dana Larson. You probably remember her. She does all the halftimes. Kelly Mills, Regan Pebbling, and then at halftime, Leslie McCaslin, and then Nancy Lieberman. Remember, we had an episode about Nancy Lieberman. She was at the halftime, and it was marvelous. I was just thinking about how she must have been pinching herself, when she first started, like we talked about. When she first started, there weren't opportunities for women. And now all of a sudden, the whole women cast and, Caitlin Clark and Angel and all them getting so much notoriety. I thought it was fabulous. They did a wonderful job. So I'm hoping that this isn't just going to be a novelty. I hope they move forward and did well. I don't know. Did y'all see that?
Yeah, I saw it, but I didn't actually put I didn't listen to the entire game, but I actually saw and I put together the fact that it was all women there. So that's actually pretty good, especially as you lead up into Women's International Day. So I don't know if it's tied to that, but it's definitely good to see the game take a more broader approach and incorporating women where they can. I know there's a lot of controversy there in terms of the actual play, but I think it's always great when we can have, women participate in different sports, in different aspects of sports, whether it's sports that they're performing themselves or if they're playing roles, whether it's referee, commentators, or an analyst. It's really good to see that progression and that step forward.
Well, it was great too, and the hard part, you get used to your voice of the Mavericks, or voice of the Cowboys, or voice of whoever, so that wasn't there. But, with Dana Larson speaking, her voice was familiar. So that made it good too. So anyway, I enjoyed it. Anyway.
Yeah. What's interesting? I'm down with women, women everything, because for me, women saved my life. I mean, a lot of people don't know this. I grew up in a house with 4 women. Oh. It was my mother, my grandmother, and my 2 sisters. And for me, I see the world in a much different light than a lot of men do, and I'm told that very often. In fact, there was one guy even told me one time. He said, "Man, look, if your mama raised me, we're not gonna get along." I was like, "Bro, I'm cool with that," because look, women are leaders at the core. They give birth, and then they raise us and they bring us along, and then we have the audacity in certain backgrounds to try to exclude women from the leadership role. When really that woman most likely have the answer to whatever it is that they need to overcome. Mm-hmm. So, man, kudos to the Dallas Mavericks. I hope a lot of teams are doing that. I hope there's a lot of organizations that's paying attention to what's going on with that, because nowadays we're seeing women do things that just wasn't possible. Even 15, 20 years ago. So I like that. I really do like that.
Well, there's this great book. Now we're getting a little off sports, but a little bit, just to give a plug to another book. It's called Invisible Women, and it's an eye-opening book to read. About, and so I won't go much into it, but if you're ever interested, that's a very eye-opening book to read that I highly recommend for opening our eyes just seeing it. But it was fun to watch. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I still remember the original WNBA slogan, "We got next," and I still remember. I still remember. It was this big deal, the first female, referee in the NBA, mm-hmm. right? So I still remember, her name escapes me right now, but just how monumental of a moment that was at that time. Again, I play the role of an ally of women. Yesterday alone, I went to a women's luncheon here in the Austin, Texas area. So I'm with you, Daryl. I know firsthand those 5 women in the house that you were with. So I know them well, and I know the role that they played in shaping your life and the critical, way they were able to help you become the great man that you are today.